Alright, welcome to our full review of Super 8. Now, Super 8 is basically about a bunch of kids who have experienced something extraterrestrial. It's set in the late 70s in middle America.
Yeah, in the town of Lillian, Ohio.
And we said before, it's really just a love letter to Spielberg movies.
Yeah, it's Abrams saying, "Steven, I love you."
Basically, and of course, it helps to have Steven Spielberg as your producer. So it's everything, the whole movie, in terms of like the music, in terms of the, all the elements, the precocious kids, Middle America, it's all there.
Yeah, the alien. So it like we said earlier, there are a lot of echoes of previous Spielberg works, like especially his late 70s work, late 70s, early 80s, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, E.T. It's got echoes of a Rob Reiner movie like Stand By Me. It has some classic To Kill a Mockingbird, because it's a coming of age movie, because the main character of Joe Lamb, his mom passed away in an industrial accident, and the way he copes with it is by hanging out with his friend Charles, who's an amateur filmmaker. Tada, Spielberg, like Dawson in Dawson's Creek. And Charles, he's got his Super 8 camera, hence the title, and he brings together his group of friends, and they want to make a zombie movie. So in the middle of making their zombie movie, they saw a train accident, and it's a big explosion. And that sets them on the course of what happens in the rest of the movie, about what was hidden on the train and why are strange things happening around the town and even on the outskirts of the town.
Right. Yeah. And what I like about this movie is that it makes you realize wow, we've been missing certain aspects, certain qualities in movies now.
It's true.
Like for example, this one had a steady pace.
Yes.
And it was very character based.
Yeah.
So when you watch the movie, they don't throw you to the action like it was a Michael Bay movie.
Yeah.
It'd be like they're already filming, and then there's a train crash, boom, right? Here it's like
it's a slow build.
Yeah. But man, when they spared no expense with that train crash.
Yeah.
Oh man, I just couldn't believe that anyone's actually survived. In real life, all those kids would be dead.
Yeah. And I also like the fact that with the world as we know it now, it's almost impossible to not know what's going to happen in a movie beforehand, because we've got Twitter, we got Facebook, everybody's hooked up, and spoilers are everywhere. But here, like in Cloverfield, they kept the alien, the entity, hush hush for the longest time. And for me, essentially, I didn't know what the plot was going to be.
Really?
Because Abrams kept it close to his chest, I think. I didn't know where it was leading. I beforehand. The vague idea, but not really. So when I watched it, I was like, oh, that's a pleasant surprise. Because almost nothing can surprise you now with all the trailers that we see, right? But here, this one worked for me, and I like being surprised. I miss being surprised by movies and movie trailers.
Right. Yeah, well, for me, I kind of expected it. I kind of expected what was going to happen.
Right.
But it didn't detract from the movie itself, because I just like the whole Spielberg referencing in the first place.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed the whole the characterization of the kids.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like that whole thing about the dialogue.
Yeah.
It's very. I don't know if you notice, a lot of '70s movies are very. They no one's hamming up to the camera.
Yeah.
They're just talking.
Yeah.
And it's like you're like a fly in the wall. That's the type of conversation they have.
Yeah, and that really lends itself to this film, because they cast mostly unknowns, especially the kids.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen any of them before, except Ellie Fanning. And Elle Fanning, she's Dakota's younger sister, and she's probably the only big name among the kids.
Yeah.
Everyone else, Kyle Chandler, he's one of the adults.
Friday Night
Lights.
Yeah.
And,
but still.
and Ron Eldard, those guys, and Noah Emmerich. You've seen them in other movies, but they're not big stars.
Yeah, they're really just character actors.
Yeah, and that it gave the movie a sense of being more real. because there's no previous baggage to these
Right.
characters that you're thinking, oh, when's he gonna come up with that? When's he gonna do that? They're just acting. Well, no, it basically looks like your neighbors are doing what they're doing.
And it's like, you know, they really built up the character, the main character, Joel Courtney, a decent kid actor, I'd
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
You know, he doesn't play it, you know, but cute.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
he just feels very real.
Yeah.
You know, like very similar to what's his name again from E.T. Elliot.
Henry Thomas.
Henry Thomas.
Yeah,
Very
Henry
similar
Thomas.
to that. You know,
Yeah.
to that style.
That's true, man.
And they just build up the whole background first before anything, before they rush into the whole.
Yeah, because they had the main part of the story happens 4 months after Joe's mom passed away. So they really build up. I mean, there's this tragedy that happens in his life. That's why he and his father, the deputy Kyle Chandler, they're trying to cope with that.
Yeah.
And that's why it leads into the whole thing with the Super 8 film.
And the kids are great. You know, you got. I mean, yeah, they're some of them are a bit of a broad type of character, like the pyromaniac.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and then the nerdy kid.
Yeah, the lead star who keeps throwing up and crying.
Yeah, and then there's that one guy who's like a big chicken shit.
Yeah,
You
true.
know, and of course there's that big fat guy.
Yeah, Riley Griffiths plays Charles, the director.
Yeah, although at least he's not the comic relief. He's like he's the director. He's more take charge.
Yeah, that's Mint.
Yeah.
There's this catchphrase. That's Mint.
Yeah. And it was nice to see they build up these kids and to see them, even them just like shooting the movie on their own was fun.
Yeah.
That was enjoyable just watching that.
Yeah.
And of course stay at the end credits to see the product of what they shot.
Yeah.
That was fun too.
Yeah, the actual Super 8 movie that they're probably submitting to a festival or something.
Yeah, that was cute.